You and me both grew up in the golden age of the internet. Although I can't know what time frame you connect with the golden age, all I can say is that A, it's highly debated, and B, it doesn't matter. All of us have seen the rise of the tech giants, all of us have seen the internet change its face because some new thing came along and fucked up the rules everyone seemed to settle on. Same with Google, same with Facebook, same with TikTok, and same with ChatGPT. All of the things that we've grown up with and are totally normal to us are part of the historical period experts call the information age. This era began about 90 years ago and describes the rapid shift from classic industry to an economy and world based on information. It is approximated that 90% of the world's data has been created in just the last 2 years. To put this into perspective, if we put all the data we generate in one day on Blu-ray discs and stack them sideways, it would take us 12 hours to reach the height of Mount Everest and just 20 days to reach the moon. Of course, none of us has to deal with all of that at once, but it goes without saying that the skill to navigate this ocean of information is more important than ever. This video is no step-by-step guide or tutorial. I will not tell you how to Google, how to check sources, or how to anything. I have no clue. But if you allow, this video can serve as a tool to view the world in a different way. It can make it easier for you to believe or not believe in what you see, and maybe it can help you make sense of it. To start this off, we need to zoom out. We need to see information in a few different forms before we zoom back in and make sense of it. And to do that, I will state right now that almost everything we encounter every day has one thing in common. It's all compressed in some way. In fact, I'll argue that after watching this video you will have a hard time finding things that are not compressed. Let me explain.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
If we ask Google what compression is about, he tells us the act of making something smaller or shorter so that it will fit into a particular space or time. So, taking big, making it small, or taking long, making it short. Compression is all about that. You take lots of stuff, press and push it together so it takes up less space, so you can fit in more stuff that was also pressed and pushed together. You might lose some nuances in the process of it, but as long as the essence of the stuff is not lost, you did good compression. For further explanation purposes, I will use trains as a comparison. And with that, I officially introduce the hex, or the holy empty-headed comparison scale. The official playground for me to compare seemingly unrelated things that have really nothing in common but somehow serve my purposes. In the scale of trains, the video will be divided into 3 parts: high-speed trains, cargo trains, and rails. I will get back to that. This is a symbol you have never seen in your life. If otherwise, you are lying because I have just made it up. This, however, is a symbol you probably have seen, and if you live in one of these countries, you might think, is that legal? Can you just show that? Should I report him? How the fuck do I report on YouTube? But what exactly differs this symbol from the symbol I just invented? Aren't they both just lines someone made up at some point? The swastika is a symbol with a complex history stretching back thousands of years. The earliest known use of it dates back to the Indus Valley civilization about 5,000 years ago, painted on pottery as a symbol of prosperity and wealth. The presence in ancient Greece, Rome, and various Native American cultures is well documented, and the swastika in the Eastern world to this day is a profound part of Indian culture and religion. Still, it is banned in a lot of countries, and for good reason. The adaptation of the Nazi regime about 100 years ago turned the swastika from a symbol of good fortune to one of the most infamous symbols of hatred and terror. And the swastika is all of this. The swastika is not just terror, it is not just sacred, it is not just fortune. It's all of this compressed in one symbol that will outlive you, me, your kids, my kids, and the kids of our kids' kids. Symbols like the swastika take culture, meaning, history, and whatever the fuck we do with it, and show them to us whenever we look at them. And this is precisely what defines them. If a symbol has no meaning or purpose attached to it, it is no better than this thing. Although the symbol has no meaning at all right now, it could have meaning if I declare this as my family symbol. I found a company that studies traveling at near light speed. The company invents zero-cost traveling at near light speed and single-handedly transforms humanity into a multiplanetary civilization, and with that becomes the most powerful tech company in the world, with this symbol attached to everything they do. And whoop, people will see the symbol and not see some random shit a no-name YouTuber made up, but see the company that made human life interstellar. The scientific field that studies why this works is called semiotics. Semiotics is the study of signs. Sounds like some guys studying traffic signs at first, but in semiotics a sign is defined as anything that communicates intentional and unintentional meaning to the other side. According to semiotics, information can be split up into the signifier and the signified. The signifier functions like a trigger to your head. In the case of the swastika, it's the lines and the word itself. The signified is the mental image or the concept of the symbol that gets triggered. This basically describes the process of you seeing something and then connecting it with the information you know about it. This information is then in the last step filtered through cultural codes and your values. For example, while the color white serves as a symbol of purity and weddings in Western culture, it is associated with mourning and funerals in Eastern culture. So, as we learned with the example of the swastika, it is quite important who you ask when trying to come up with the interpretation of a symbol. Symbols are manifested in our daily lives as powerful tools that encapsulate complex ideas, emotions, and cultural narratives. It's an insanely fast way of transferring loads of information in a very compressed state, and this is kinda neat. While classical symbols appear as simple recognizable images, the true power lies in their ability to expand into complex expressions. And of course, there's no other place where this is shown more than in art. In art, symbolism weaves together a tapestry of meanings, transforming a mere picture into a profound statement. This is best shown in one of Vincent van Gogh's masterpieces. The Starry Night is celebrated not only for its visual beauty, but also for its profound emotional meaning. Van Gogh's use of symbolism invites viewers to explore themes that exceed the concept of paint on canvas and showcase in a creative way the human struggle between life and death and the search for meaning in the world we all live in. A painting seems to be just paint on canvas, but if you dare to unzip it, you will find lots of stuff that took a significant part in the making of it. You will find the artist's life, you will find a history, decisions, emotions, childhood, problems, burden, what they hate, what they love. But all of that will stay concealed if you don't, and it will just be paint on canvas. Okay, so we got symbols representing high-speed trains. In the realm of this video, signs equals the cargo trains. While cargo trains may not move as swiftly, their strength lies in the sheer volume they carry, and so does science. The spirit of science is all about explaining the world around us in the most understandable way. This does not mean that we would even remotely understand the science if there's no compression going on. Scientists do that job for us. They collect raw data, they clean that data, they compress, they analyze, they conclude. The journey from raw data to real-world application is a complex but systematic process. It takes immense skill on so many levels to make something even remotely usable. Just think a second about what has to be done so you can sit on your ass right now and watch this YouTube video. The screen, the speakers, the connections, some fucker creating this video, tools to create this video, the computers running all of this. It's quite insane. And of course, it doesn't stop there. Your toilet, the medicine you take, your house, the medicine you shouldn't take, all of it was made and refined by people that had to put a lot of thought into it and did all the stuff mentioned before, or stole it, to give you some excitement, either bad or good, in exchange for money or your attention, what seems to be more valuable these days. Science is the quest to close the gap between all information we have and all information we don't. Okay, so video done, right? Compression is cool, we know what you want from us, take my sub, take my like, and get the fuck off my screen. No, there's one more thing. The rails. There is no trains, no speed, no weight, no fast, no slow, no compression, nothing if there are no rails. Rails are what made this whole discussion even possible. Rails are language. Language is the bedrock of human society, enabling us to share, to express, to build, to know. It's safe to say that basically everything is based on the human skill to press words out of our biggest hole. This is best shown in the exploration of ancient Egypt. When scientists began to study the lost civilization, they had one major problem. They simply couldn't understand what the fuck they wrote on the stones. All the accounts they did have were from external sources. All the information about the daily life of the Egyptians were mere interpretations or accounts about the Egyptians from Roman or Greek historians, not from the Egyptians. While still valuable and important, these accounts were based on second-hand information and unavoidably contained inaccuracies. It was very clear that to understand how the ancient Egypts lived, they need to decipher the hieroglyphs. This quest hit a major milestone when the Rosetta Stone was found in 1799, an ancient text that was written on a stone in 3 languages: Greek, Demotic, and Hieroglyphic. Jackpot! But not until 23 years later when this guy actually deciphered them. But then, jackpot! With the hieroglyphic language unlocked, the gates to the world of the Egyptians were opened. Stories, poems, humor, religion, sex, all the things that they cared to write down, now to be understood. A whole civilization, now decoded. All the documentaries you watched about the pyramids and Egyptian culture would not be possible if we didn't unlock the language first. Language is the key to understanding the mind of yourself and others. Language is the key to understanding. So, why the trains? The reason why I introduced the train comparison is because it's perfect to get a feeling of origin and destination. Informations, like trains, are by nature moving from one point to another. They come from a source and aim to achieve something, and while doing so, they move. Sometimes fast like high-speed trains, sometimes slow like cargo trains, but always on rails. The problem is that when we look at the train itself, we can't see where it started and can't see where it's heading. There's no origin and destination point magically hovering over the train, but you can find out if you're ready to put the effort in. And the same thing applies to information. You can get behind it, but if you don't, there will be stuff you don't know. And that's fine, as long as you know that you don't know. And the paint on canvas will be paint on canvas until it doesn't.